Welcome to the Optimal Being video blog, hosted by me, Jonathan Willbanks, and presented by ConsciousLifeNews.com. Today we're going to talk about water. This is probably the single most important episode or installment of this blog that you will watch. Water, without exception, perhaps next to only oxygen, is the single most important thing that you put in your body. We as Americans have a major problem with this. We are chronically dehydrated. We consume diuretic and sugar-laden beverages in place of the amount of water that we should be consuming. So this includes coffee, soft drinks, and even too much tea can be a bad thing because the caffeine content causes us to excrete more water than we're taking in. So we walk around very often in chronically dehydrated states, and absolutely nothing in your body can function properly without adequate hydration. This includes organ function, cellular metabolism, weight loss, that's a big one. Very hard to lose weight without drinking an adequate amount of water. And many, many other things, brain health, cognitive function, blood pressure, all of the above. So adequately hydrating yourself is crucial, but hydrating yourself with a pure, clean source of water is also very important. Unfortunately, we have a very ironic and tragic situation in the United States with our water resources, in that unlike many parts of the developing world, we do have virtually unlimited access to fresh water. There are people in this world that have to walk miles to get a few gallons at a time of contaminated and bacteria-laden water or polluted water. And we don't have that problem, which is very fortunate. But unfortunately, because of the political and business interest involved in making health decisions regarding our municipal water supplies, the water that we have access to is not supportive of our health. And some examples of this, one is water fluoridation. Sodium fluoride in itself, there's little to no evidence that shows that it supports our dental health. It was originally added to our water supply as the result of studies that were funded by the aluminum industry. This is a long story that you can read about elsewhere, but studies that were funded by the aluminum industry as a way to dispose of sodium fluoride, which was one of their toxic waste products. And now the big industry that has replaced, that has come to the fore, is big agriculture. And the sodium that's in our water supply now, in most cases, is going to be something called sodium hexafluorosilicic acid, which is an even more dangerous form of fluoride that is the byproduct of phosphate-based fertilizer manufacturing. Fluoride is toxic and builds up in the body over time. If you look at the back of any, let's say, Crest or Colgate toothpaste tube, for example, you'll see a warning that says to call a poison control center immediately if you swallow more than the amount used for brushing. And this is primarily in reference to the potential risk of fluoride poisoning. Now, there are other things in toothpaste that you don't want to be eating and that can cause some problems, but according to the Akron Regional Poisoning Center, the amount of fluoride, approximately the amount of fluoride contained in one tube of toothpaste, is enough to potentially kill a 100-pound person. And the reason that this is, swallowing a little bit of toothpaste from brushing your teeth is not going to kill you, but those minute amounts of fluoride that we get from not just toothpaste, but in particular our water, will build up in the body over time. And in the long run, the effects can really compound in negative ways. They can cause dental and skeletal fluorosis. There was a meta-analysis that was a peer-reviewed meta-analysis that was released by Harvard Medical School, I believe it was the Harvard Medical Journal, last year, that showed that elevated fluoride levels in water can impair neurological development in children, can have a host of negative neurological consequences. This is, I think, in my personal opinion, one of the primary drivers behind the epidemic of osteoporosis that we have, and bone problems and dental problems that we have in the United States. You do not need fluoride to be healthy. And we're consuming way too much of it. So enough about fluoride. There's plenty of other things in the water supply. Since Dr. Strangelove came out in the 60s, anybody who talks about fluoride in the water being bad for you kind of has a tinfoil hat label put on them. But my advice is, in regards to fluoride, is cut it out of your food supply and your water supply for a few months and see how you feel. Then try to go back and drink the tap water, use the Colgate toothpaste, and let that experience speak for itself. And I'm sure that if you try this, that you will be convinced. But let's put fluoride aside. We also chlorinate our water supply. And there are some reasonable motivations behind this. It's to disinfect the water. The reason that you add chlorine to anything, it's why we use it in a pool, it's why we use bleach to clean our floors, is to kill biological matter. It will kill cells, it will kill bacteria, and in that sense it sterilizes our water. And yes, a small amount of chlorine in our water is not going to kill you, but it will damage the good flora and fauna in your digestive tract, and it is a mild chronic cellular toxin, so it's going to contribute to things like chronic inflammation. And it's one more chemical, it's one more harmful foreign substance for your body to have to filter and process out. And we just don't need that. So we've got fluoride, we've got chlorine, we've got chloramine, in some cases we've got hexane. You've got trace amounts of pharmaceuticals that weren't fully metabolized when people take them, so when they excrete them back into the water supply, the filtration systems that are set up in municipal plants, water plants, are not equipped to filter out all of these pharmaceutical molecules. So you end up with very small amounts of drugs that were never designed to be combined together. So you might, for example, be getting a little bit of Prozac here, a little bit of blood pressure medication over here, an antidepressant over here, a stimulant over here, an SSRI over here, and you're getting small amounts of all of these different pharmaceuticals and drugs that can mix, and we don't really know what the effects of these trace amounts of mixed pharmaceuticals are in the long run, but I think any reasonable person can say that they're probably not very good. At a minimum, this is one more thing, one more environmental assault for the body to cope with. And then beyond that, you can have all sorts of nasty heavy metals both in the water supply themselves, and they can come from your pipes, particularly if you live in an older house. You can get elevated levels of lead, arsenic, copper, all of these, the bad forms of copper that don't support your health, among other things. So tap water really, while it's better than nothing, it's certainly better than like a soda, and most sodas are made from tap water anyway, so you're getting all that negative stuff plus all the bad stuff that's in a soda or coffee that you might get at 7-Eleven. Tap water in itself is bad for you, but if you don't have the means to get filtered water or to drink distilled or reverse osmosis water, which I'm about to talk about, you are better off drinking tap water, so go for that. Hydration is important. So before I talk about what you can do to make your water cleaner and safer in a cost-effective way, I want to talk about the need for hydration. So in terms of a daily water target, what your body needs to be healthy, assuming normal activity levels, you want to take your body weight, convert that into take that number in ounces. So in my case, I weigh about 215, 220 pounds. So half of that amount, so that number in ounces is, let's say, 220, and half of that in ounces is going to be 105 ounces. So you take your body weight, convert it into ounces, and divide that number by 2. And that's your water target for the day, and that's at a minimum. If you're working out really intensely, or you're consuming a lot of coffee or soda, then you need to up your intake proportionally to adjust for that. And I know a lot of people and a lot of clients that I'll work with will be doing very good to be getting 2 or 3 8-ounce glasses of water a day, and a lot of people don't like water. They don't like the taste of water. So I'll talk about a few strategies to get around that in a moment as well. But this is, if you want to be healthy, this is square one, guys. This is, you gotta drink water. And thirst, the actual physical sensation of thirst, is your body's last signal, last line of defense to tell you that you're dehydrated. So if you're thirsty, you are already in pretty intense dehydration mode. If you are adequately hydrating yourself, you should never experience the sensation, the physical sensation of thirst. So if you're walking around thirsty a few times a day, you're not getting nearly enough water, so you need more. So what are some healthier forms of water out there? Well, the simplest and the most accessible is reverse osmosis water. Reverse osmosis is not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's going to get you 85 to 95% of the way there, depending on the substance that needs to be filtered and removed, and in some cases it's going to get 100% of it. It's going to get 100% of the fluoride out, and it's going to get 85 to 95% of the, it's going to get 100% of the chlorine out, and it's going to get 85 to 95% of the fluoride, and somewhere in between with a lot of the other substances. So it does a pretty good job. You can get reverse osmosis water in 1-gallon jugs at most grocery stores for $1 or less, which is not very cost effective in the long run, but is manageable for most people. So you're looking at about $1 a day. You drink one of those gallon jugs a day and you'll be in pretty good shape. You can also get a 5-gallon large BPA-free jug for about $15, maybe $20. And you can take it to water fill-up stations that are located in most grocery stores, certainly any natural health or health food store. And in my area, all of our Circle K gas stations have glacier water machines right up front. You can fill those up for 25 to 35 cents a gallon, and you can get a basin, or you can just pour it straight out of the jug. But that's a very cost-effective way if you don't have the resources to invest up front in a reverse osmosis water filtration system. That's a really good way to get access to clean water. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to go fill up, but it's worth it. Again, if health is your goal, or you have chronic health conditions that you're working on healing, it's worth the time, it's worth the effort, and I so strongly encourage you to do this. Now, if you are in a position to make a small upfront investment, yeah, you can install a home reverse osmosis water system. I have one from Whirlpool. It's the Whirlpool WHER25 model. I think we paid about $165 for it. It was either Home Depot or Lowe's. You can get them on almost any hardware store. And it is a 3-stage reverse osmosis filtration system that installs under your sink. Anyone with rudimentary plumbing knowledge can install this for about in about an hour. But if that's not you, post an ad on Craigslist looking for a local handyman who will come do it, and then you can find somebody who will install it for you for $50 to $100. It's a pretty straightforward job. The filters cost about $50 every 6 months. So again, you're looking at about $160, $170 startup cost, and $50, $60 every 6 months, and you then have the benefit of a kitchen tap that will produce essentially bottled water. Now, a lot of people will drink bottled water all day, and they'll think that they're doing themselves a service, and in some ways they are. I think you're probably healthier off drinking bottled water than tap water, but it's not a great option, to be sure. Well, first of all, there are huge environmental consequences of bottled water. The production of the polyethylene bottles that most water comes in is incredibly harmful to the environment, is very polluting, and then not to mention the fact that you've got millions and millions of these plastic bottles that take tens of thousands of years to biodegrade, that are clogging the environment. A lot of them work their way into the ocean. They begin to break down in sunlight and leach chemicals into the oceans, into our water supplies. It's not a good thing. So other than the occasional, I'm on the run, I've got to grab some non-toxic water, let me get a Dasani at 7-Eleven, I would really encourage you to steer clear of the bottled water paradigm. And also, it's not cost effective. It's very expensive, and it's a lot cheaper to either go fill up 5-gallon jugs at water stations or to install a filter yourself. A lot of the waters, and a lot of bottled waters, there's a wide range of quality. In some cases, you'll just see spring water, and you'll look on the back and it'll say bottled in, such and such spring in Colorado. Well, in most cases, that's just tap water. They're tapping into the groundwater and just sucking it out, which has its own host of political, environmental, economic consequences. But you're not getting great water there. Now, a lot of times it will be almost all bottled water that's not spring water will be coming from municipal water supplies at some point, but most of it's been filtered with reverse osmosis filtration, which is essentially, again, going to be the same thing that you're going to get if you put one of those home filters in, or you go fill up at your local water stations. And then sometimes they'll add minerals back in for taste, so usually that's going to be various forms of magnesium and potassium for flavor, and you get a little bit of an electrolyte boost, and it's going to make the water slightly more alkaline there. And it will restore the alkalinity. When reverse osmosis water is filtered, or in distilled water, all the minerals are removed, and these aren't really minerals that you want in the first place because they're not in the best forms, but one of the consequences of that is that it does significantly drop the pH. So you're looking at taking the pH from something that's neutral, so around 7 or 7.2, all the way down to as low as a 6.0, which on a logarithmic scale is about 100 times more acidic than regular tap water. So If you're drinking reverse osmosis or distilled water, you want to make sure that you're either consuming a generous supply of organic fruits and vegetables, nuts that will provide your body with plenty of those minerals, or that you're taking a good multi-mineral and trace mineral supplement to replace that. You can also get water alkalizing drops. They're a little expensive, but you can drop those into your water. Those will make your water more alkaline and will support a better pH balance in your body, and then will restore those minerals as well. So we've talked about reverse osmosis, which simply for its practicality is what I recommend to most people. Distilled water is another good option. Again, it is going to be more acidic because there are absolutely no minerals in it, but it's the cleanest, purest water that you can get. It's basically been evaporated, so they'll take tap water, any normal water supply, and they'll steam it. The water will convert to steam, and then they'll capture those droplets, and all of the waste products that were in the water will just remain below, and then you've got this perfectly pure steam distilled water at the top. So distilled water is great too. It tends to be a lot more expensive and consume more energy. So it's you're looking at more like 60 to 75 cents a gallon if you're going to fill-up stations. Getting a water distiller for the home is also a lot more expensive than the reverse osmosis options. And in regards to water, there's a huge marketing push right now from the multi-level marketing company Enagic and similar companies selling water ionizers and alkaline water machines. And I want to talk about this for a moment because I think that these can do some really incredible things, but there's also some potential red flags or risks that aren't widely talked about. So I want to present that for your consideration. So I realize this is a long video blog, but again, I think this is a very important topic, and I want to try to explore it as thoroughly as we can in the time that we've got here. With like a Kangen Water machine, the ones that are produced by this company called Enagic, they do three things. They alkalize the water to anywhere, you can choose your settings on the machine anywhere from an 8.0 to a 9.5 pH, which can really help to alkalize the body, which is very important to support health and to support any sort of healing. They are microclustered. So the molecules of Kangen water are hexagonally structured. If you look at them next to like tap water under a microscope, they have a much cleaner shape. Tap water looks dead, for lack of a better word, and these Kangen water molecules are just beautiful under a microscope. And these hexagonal water crystals are about 1/6 the size of regular water molecules. So as a result, they hydrate you 500 to 600% more efficiently. And as soon as you try Kangen water for the first time, if you drink a glass, even a 6-ounce glass of 9.0 Kangen water, you will feel it within 30 to 60 seconds. And when I first did it, I felt it in my brain. I could feel almost like my brain cells going and sucking it up. And I could feel myself being hydrated on a level that I had never been hydrated before. And in fact, Kangen water was very helpful for me in recovering from some major health conditions. So I do think that this water can do what the marketers say that it can do. Oh, and the other thing that makes Kangen water, alkaline water, unique is it's got a negative oxidation reduction potential. So it's very negatively charged and has free electrons that it can donate to neutralize free radicals. So in that sense, your water becomes a very powerful antioxidant, and according to the literature that I've read, it can actually be much more powerful than herbal and orthomolecular and other nutrient antioxidants like green tea extract, for example, or vitamin E, that you can actually get more of an antioxidant effect from this water. So if you're interested in the Kangen water, and especially if you have a major health condition that you're recovering from, I would encourage you to check it out, but not to use it for extended periods until there's some more research done, and here's why. The Kangen machines need the minerals in the water to split the charge, to alkalize the water, and then there's a second acidic stream, so whatever the difference is, if you've got like a 9.5 pH, you're going to have 3.5 coming out the other end is the waste product, and it's going to concentrate the minerals that are already in the tap water in the alkaline stream. So you're going to have a lot more of the minerals that are already occurring in your tap water, and this is how it gets that pH. This is one of the ways that it gets the pH up so high. Now the trade-off to that is you're then getting a higher concentration of minerals that may not be that good for you. So for example, sodium fluoride, or in the case of many municipal water supplies, the vastly more toxic sodium hexafluorosilicic acid. So you're concentrating those in greater amounts, and they are in water that hydrates you 500 to 600% more efficiently. So not only do you have larger amounts of some of these minerals, but they're hydrated, they're entering your cells a lot more efficiently than they would with normal tap water. Now, there are pre-filters that can be put on these Kangen machines that can reduce the fluoride and other contaminants. There's charcoal pre-filters, and those can help a lot. So if you're getting one of these machines, if you're investing, $2,000 in one of these machines, I encourage you to spend the extra, I think, $400 or $500 to get a good pre-filter. So that being said, I have reservations about Kangen water, and we just don't know what it's going to do in the long term for health, in terms specifically in regards to heavy metal toxicity. And I would also encourage people not to consume it with food, to wait at least 30 minutes before or after you eat, because the highly alkaline water can neutralize digestive acids. So, in summary, we've talked about the importance of health, the problem that we have with dehydration in our modern Western culture. We've talked about problems with tap water. We've talked about clean sources of water that are available for almost any budget for as little as $1 a day or less. And we've also talked about distilled water and alkaline water, the potential benefits and the potential risks. So I've tried to cover a lot of ground here. There's one more thing that I'd like to add, and that's a strategy to consume more water if you really don't like water. And that is take a glass of clean water, let's say reverse osmosis water, squeeze a fresh lemon in it, and add a pinch of stevia. Stir it around. It tastes like lemonade. The lemon juice will, even though it itself is acidic, will actually have a very alkalizing effect on the body, as well as give you vitamin C and a few other nutrients. And the stevia will make it taste sweet like lemonade. So that is a little bit of a hack. I probably wouldn't do that for all 110 ounces of my water each day. But if you need to make baby steps to get more water in your diet, that's a good way to do it. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've been going for about 21 minutes, so this is my longest post to date. But I do welcome any questions that you might have in the comment section below or in this article that will be hosted on Conscious Life News. I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive the latest updates for the Optimal Being video blog each week. And until next time, be well.